This weekend, Andy's French kissing, Ryan found another troll, and we spank fruits with a basketball. I'm Ryan.
I'm Andy.
And this is Weekend Rental, episode 219. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Weekend Rental. We're inching closer to the holidays here. Went into an Arctic fury the last couple of weeks since Andy and I recorded, but now we are back in spring. Apparently, it's been beautiful there for you?
Yeah, we went from a bunch of snow to 20 below to 40, 45 today. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Pretty great. I took a few days off last week around my birthday, which was perfect to time it with all the snow we had. And then also, perfectly timed with like the 5 days leading up to when I was going to close on the sale of my old place, which meant that to not be an asshole, I had to go over there and shovel all that stuff. And yeah, super fun. It was a ton of snow to move over a couple days. I don't know, like I heard Minnesota got like 8 to 10 inches. I'd guess we got like 5 to 6 over those couple days.
Yeah, we probably got about 8, maybe 7, 8, I would say.
And then what I lived on top of that was like we closed last Friday on the sale of my home, and I get a call from my realtor the morning of the day we're closing at like 10 when the other guy's supposed to be closing on the sale. And he's at the title company. He wants an addenda on the mortgage because when they did the walkthrough the night before, a couple of lights were flickering. And I was like, yep, LED light bulbs. They were going out. Hate to tell you this, but when I moved out, we packed everything up, including the light bulbs, and I just forgot to get around to it. So the guy's like, nope, we need you to sign an addenda that says you'll pay half of all the electrical expenses to get that repair. I'm like, do you want me to fucking go over there and replace the light bulbs? Because I can do it. Then I told my realtor, I was like, is he going to reimburse me for the time I spent snowballing over the last like 3 days? Because I didn't need to do that. I could have left a foot of snow in the driveway for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was fucking losing my shit. I was so pissed. And I was like, why is this happening now at the last minute? And I'm like, I'm absolutely not signing something that says I'm going to pay half of an unknown number because this guy's a fucking bitch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you're buying a 70-year-old house from me. If a flickering light scares you, you've fucked up. Like, the amount of stuff that you're going to have to learn how to deal with is big. So get a hammer, get a screwdriver, and get some YouTube under your belt.
Yeah. That's, to be honest, from hearing that, it's maybe surprising that you didn't have more problems with that.
Well, and I already had the one problem that we dealt with by throwing cash at it. So I was like, I've already been overly accommodating. You already had a longer closing date than I should have allowed. Like, this doesn't need to happen on the day of this being done. Like, I'm ready to wash my hands. Like, I don't even get a flickering light bulb. Either the bulb's battery of poltergeist, but either way, make a decision or get off the pot was kind of how I felt about it. So yeah, I've been joking with my wife that I'll just go back there next Halloween and put a flaming bag of dog shit on his doorstep. My dad's like, well, that's a good idea, but why wait so long? He's like, because I want him to feel relaxed. I want him to think he's comfortable and out of the woods. And then I'm just going to, well, pow, So, but it went through. He sucks ass. It pissed me off so much. And then, yeah, got the sale done, got our check. Made more than I thought we were going to make off of it, which was nice. So.
Oh, yeah.
Could have made even more, but whatever. It's fine. We made enough.
Yep.
I'm so glad to have that behind us and just have one house to focus on, because anyone who owns a home knows that maintaining one's more than enough headaches. So
yeah, I did that for like a year and a half.
Right. Come back in 2 weeks when the next thing explodes in my current home, and I'm bitching about it. But we did have a flickering light bulb in the kitchen tonight, and I thought about emailing the realtor and asking if we could do a retroactive addenda on our purchase. Like our realtor was like explaining the situation to me, and I'm like, I bought this house and we moved in and I flushed the toilet and it flooded my bathroom basement. Like, I didn't ask for an addenda. Like, the plumbing pulled out of the wall from one of the showers. Like, at some point, if you're buying a house, you got to nut up. Like, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
that was
is
exciting.
it's good to be done with all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an unnecessary last minute headache that I think had he just had a realtor who had his head out of his ass, could have been avoided. Like, dude, if you're selling houses to people, like a flickering light bulb at the end of the walkthrough is the least of your worries.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was still nice. I had a few days off and did some stuff around the house. My kids and wife gave me that Lego Game Boy kit for my birthday, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Once I finish putting together all this mess behind me, if you're watching the video, I'll assemble that and put it somewhere in the game room here. But
Yeah, that
getting
thing looks
closer.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems neat. Like, and the price is right? Like, I think they're $60, which compared to the 100 to 200 you spend on some of those kits nowadays,
Oh yeah.
Lego is prohibitively expensive if you're not going to just keep it up as an art piece.
Even the NES one now goes for like $500 if you want to get that
which
again.
is nuts.
Yeah.
I should have bought that at MGC that one year when that guy had like that damaged box one for like 160, but I also knew that I probably was never going to put that together. So
yeah.
Yeah.
My wife is very much into the flowers and decorative ones.
Yeah.
So we hosted Christmas here for my side of the family. We ended up with like 40 some people here, which was good that we have the space now. But
yeah.
Her thing was that she wanted a centerpiece for every table. So it was lots of different Lego little flowers
Nice.
or arrangements for centerpieces. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got them, why not use them, right?
You're right. Yep.
I've been very tempted to buy that Love Park one just because of like the nostalgia with like every skateboard video I watched growing up, you know, before that was demolished. But yeah, the flower ones are very cool. What I can't get over is like how many like pop culture ones there are that I would love to have. Like, there's so many cool like Harry Potter and those different things, but like, man, like the price point is like $240 for like the most basic shit. It's just like, this is very nostalgic, but also detrimental to my wallet. So and the flower ones at least have a range, right?
Yeah. Well, and we even went to there's that kind of newish store in Fargo there.
Oh, the pedophile one? Yeah.
Oh, like I don't know anything about that part.
Yeah, he's a pedophile. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't shop there.
Okay. I know now. I will not go there again.
I don't know if he's registered, but he was involved heavily. Like, it's not great.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that, you know, you would think like, oh, used Legos, right? Because that's kind of what the deal in.
Right.
But those end up being more than what they were brand new anyway. So
yeah,
the whole thing is kind of because it's retired or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like once they're out of like circulation, like even those like old ones from when we were kids, like the space sets and stuff, those go for like a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I did not bring my kids in, so I guess I was good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. It's the right choice. Yeah, I just read an article on him like 6 months ago where they're like, everyone was writing in, they're like, you do know he's like a pedophile and like has a registered offense. And
he owns a toy store.
yeah, and he owns a Lego store aimed at children, but yeah, pretty sweet. But he's still in business, so I guess whatever. If you're ever wondering what who holds the bricks together, it's not. Yeah. Well, the Game Awards happened since we last recorded.
Yeah.
Apparently, Claire Obscura is like a really good game, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about that later because I really played that a lot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that game won pretty much every category it was in. It was crazy.
Yeah, and DK won the category that I assumed it would be slotted into,
the Nintendo
best family game.
The Nintendo
Somehow
category.
The worst Mario Kart ever won the best racing game, which is nonsense, but
Yeah. As far as like surprises though, like or like things that were announced,
It was
I
bad.
don't know. There wasn't anything really amazing that I'm looking all that much forward to.
No, and like that Ender was so underwhelming with him like keying up that whole like from the people who made Titanfall, and I was like, oh, we're gonna get a spiritual successor. We're gonna get a Titanfall 3 of sorts, and it's like, hey, here's the most generic squad based shooter you've ever like
Right.
superhero shooter you've ever seen,
It's
which
medieval this
looked
time.
like it looked like ass. Like the graphics were so under like it was such a letdown. Like none of it looked engaging. Like the visuals were not good. Nothing seemed different than any like it looked like Overwatch but on a budget. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
That
this
was
was your final keynote.
that was the part that I was kind of taken aback to because I always thought those are the type of things that he let on for free because those are the drivers of things to watch. But
Yeah.
doing that at the end of the game or at the end of the show as your big reveal, that seems like, oh, this is who paid
It's
me
his
to do
biggest
this.
paid promotion is what it was. Like you could
Yeah.
totally tell the only reason that landed there was because they threw enough cash at him.
Yeah. Which
But
was
flute
out of the
guy,
norm for what they
yeah,
are.
flute guy saved the show. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy with the flutes. I mean, he's playing a PVC pipe at one point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like that guy deserves an award of his own. So, like, holy shit, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I didn't catch all of it. I caught like the last half, but easily the most well, super predictable, which they always are. But yeah, from a unveiling standpoint, like there wasn't much. Like nothing
No,
that tickled me anyway.
I mean, I think Mega Man is probably the most surprising, but that's like,
They've
this
had
is,
12 years to do this.
yeah.
And it didn't even like, yes, it's a graphical step up, but it's like, okay, we're getting Mega Man 12 and it's going to be good. But
In 2
like,
years for a 2D Mega Man game.
right.
What?
20, yes. For a split second, I thought they were unveiling Half-Life 3. And then it wasn't
Yeah,
that.
that would have been pretty crazy. The Knights of the Old Republic thing, I really like those
Sure.
games, so I think a new one of those could be really good, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that Pod Racer game seems like it has potential. It's so hard to gauge that though, because like everyone has fallen so far off of like loving Star Wars that is that gonna be like does the Star Wars nostalgia carry any weight anymore really in the gaming community even?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like maybe it does.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they were making kind of side Star Wars games for a long while there, and it hasn't been now. It's been like the Jedi games, and that's kind of been it almost. So
yeah, that'll be cool to see how it comes out, I guess.
Yeah,
that probably interested me. That and Mega Man were the two that really I guess I thought were cool. I mean, I like the idea of reimagining the first Tomb Raider as well. I just don't know if that's because I never even got back into like the reboots and like the mid 10 years ago or whatever when those came out. They were well reviewed. I didn't do it, and I don't know if that's enough to pull me back into Tomb Raider, but
yeah,
we'll
I
see.
wonder because I mean, if you're sticking to the original thing, the original games, I don't know if that has enough legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they were great in the time, but like unless you're really going to flesh them out and reinvent them. So we'll see. But
overall, yeah, it seemed pretty light.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It seemed like probably the worst showing and spectacle. And there was still like just a bunch of dumb, bloated bullshit, and you don't need that.
Yeah.
And that crowd is like so woefully unengaged. It's like it's great that you have this amphitheater full of like thousands of people, but like nobody there is even paying attention. You'd like watch Keeley doing his announcements, and it's like 20 people in the background on their cell phones.
Yeah,
it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how one man has gotten. I mean, I think I saw that like ads on that thing cost like over $1 million now. So
yeah,
it's amazing that one man has done that.
Super Bowl. Yeah, it's crazy. I just wish it hadn't been so watered down and like turned into nothing. It's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
If they can't get the unveils, then what's the point? I mean, the awards have been a joke for years, but if you don't have exclusives and like big heavy hitters, and maybe that's more a state of the industry than the Game Awards at this point, but I don't know.
Yeah. I have to give him some credit that he has seemed like he dropped off some of the things that he did every year. You know, Kojima was out there every year doing something most of the time for no reason at all. So it was kind of refreshing to be like, the dude is even nominated for best game of the year, and he was just there. You know, he didn't have a special connection or anything. So
yeah. Did Death Stranding 2 win anything? I didn't even see.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, how do you win against Claire Obscura, I guess?
Yeah.
Have you played any games since we talked last?
A hell of a lot of Claire Obscura.
You like it won all the awards. I have to play it, huh?
Yeah, I actually beat it before the awards.
Oh, okay.
Because I had heard a rumor that it was leaving Game Pass in December, and I didn't know when.
Sure.
I don't think that's the case now because they have a new update now, which I haven't got to play. And they were very much like, oh, a huge success part of this game was Game Pass. So it had a lot of players. So they're probably not going to leave it.
Probably the only positive nod to Xbox then, since I don't think they won any game categories. So.
They won South of Midnight won like something. Oh. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, no Nintendo news, no Xbox news, no news.
I don't think
big
Nintendo
Sony
cares
thing.
about it.
Yeah. It's pretty much just third parties that are like, we're not big enough to do our own show, so this is a good, especially Capcom really seems like they're all in on it. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really played too much. Probably the only game was called A Game About Digging a Hole.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah,
you just literally dig a hole, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then you sell the rocks and ores that you find to upgrade your shovel, and then so you can dig faster and dig deeper and stuff like that.
We're just like, now that we've wrapped up like Power Wash Simulator, I need something else mundane to occupy my time. So.
Yep, just something the most barely held together version of something I would call a game. Yes, that's pretty much what it is. For how people have talked about that game, I've heard a number of people bring that game up. It's like only an hour.
Oh, okay.
So you beat it. So it's kind of surprising because there's a lot of other games that are just like that. I mean, they have the same basic feedback loop, right? It's just
sure. Is there no like sweet payoff at the end where there's like a twist? Like you just literally dig down to the end, or
there's kind of a twist. Okay. It's
this game always reminds me of. Did you ever play Motherlode back on like Newgrounds and stuff, where it was like a game where you were on Mars and you had a robot and you were just digging for ore, which seems like the objective of the game until you get far enough along, which is only about an hour, and then you burrow through a cave and you're fighting Satan. Like, and then you're like, wow, familiar. This is a completely different game. So
yeah, it does have a twist Satan. Kind of like that. It's not Satan, but it's something kind of like that. But it's only like, it really is only like 5 minutes, if that.
Sure.
And then you're at the end of the game. So.
Well, that's cool. I could see giving that a shot. That's on Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Thought I saw it hit that, and I was like, well, maybe. Especially if it's only an hour run. So what happens when you beat it? Like new game plus, you just start over, dig a new hole, or is it just done?
I think it's done. Yeah, I don't. And even like the amount of times you upgrade, because I mean, obviously it's only an hour that there's not many times that you upgrade even. So it doesn't even feel like you're really doing too much in the span of that.
So not worth your time maybe if it's not on Game Pass?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's very expensive anyway. This
Yeah,
seems like a $2,
true.
$3 game anyway,
Yeah,
I would imagine. I don't know, but
interesting. Yeah, the only thing I played in between, I picked up Prime 4. I also decided that I should shell out for a Pro controller since I never owned one for my Switch. I was like, well, I bet it's better than the third party controller, so I'll buy that. And like, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a nice controller, but $90, like, just buy 8-bit do and just
yeah.
it's like $60. It's gonna be just as good. So
Yeah,
it doesn't turn on your Switch too. Who gives a shit? You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It weighs an extra pound, so it feels a little bit heftier than like
Yeah.
the other
Well, and
ones,
it's
but
even fairly light compared to the I would say the original Switch Pro, but
yeah.
yeah. I got like probably 3 hours into Prime 4. I've been meaning to get back to it, but like yeah, I would say reviews on that are about right. Like it's at its best when it's making you feel nostalgic about the original entry in the Prime series. It doesn't maybe do enough to modernize Metroid in the way that I would have liked. So a lot of the design choices feel needlessly like input heavy for like opening gates or doing a certain thing. The visuals are very good. I'm only playing in performance mode, so I went for 1080p at 120 frames, which I thought would be better for a first person shooter. It's gorgeous, like especially like when you context it in like this is a first party Nintendo game more or less, and like I'm seeing like actual humanoid figure. Like it's very weird in that sense, but I don't think that like problematic character that everybody's bitching about is that big of a deal. Like he's more just like inconsistent chatter for the most part once you get past his opening scene. Um, but I think it's equal parts like beautiful, nostalgic, and outdated at the same time. Like it doesn't quite like it's not a system seller in the way to me that like Bonanza was like is a completely original like reinvention. This is just a solid continuation. Like I think it's better than Prime 3. I'll give it that.
Okay.
Prime 3 always reminded me a lot more of like a Halo. Like it felt like they were trying to evolve Prime into a Halo game, and this feels more like uh overhaul and like return to form. But yeah, as much as I'm enjoying it, I think I'm enjoying it largely off of my nostalgia. Not to say it's a bad game. It's not. It's a good game. It's just there's choices that like game design has evolved past from, and I get that it's a Metroid, so some of that needs to exist to feel like a Metroid, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like maybe I mean it had trouble development, so it's hard to knock it too much, but like maybe it needed a little more time to bake. But
Mm. I mean, I think the original Prime kind of has that too, where, like you said, I think they had to do some things to make it still feel like a Metroid game. So
yeah.
it was a very good shooter, but it was not in any way, shape, or form like any of the other shooters around either,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that that valley has grown even farther since then. So but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess it is better to keep it like the original instead of trying, like you say, go for
I wish they'd have
modernization.
just like sped up the controls a little bit more, but like yeah, I mean the parts that like you want to have the Metroid feels are there. Like I feel like it's at its best when I'm jumping down in the morph ball and like running through a bunch of tubes and like that feels great. And like the rest of it is just solid enough, but um yeah, and like the switching to your menu and like seeing the reflection of Samus in the visor is all good. I definitely think it's the second best reason to own a Switch too. But I'm not going to pretend it's this like 10 out of 10 masterpiece either. I think it's very good and I will get my money's worth out of it, but I kind of had like slightly higher hopes for like, I guess how it would feel as a first person shooter. It's still like, it controls great. It's beautiful. The movement, like the world, like it's all what you want. I just wish it felt snappier, I guess is kind of my main takeaway.
Yeah. It feels like it really just dropped kind of just not much fanfare overall. Where like
Yeah.
Metroid Dread kind of really held its legs and was propped up quite a bit. for how long this has been anticipated, it felt like it was like, oh, yep, that game happened, and on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I still, again, totally recommend it. Only 3 hours in. I've gone through a boss. I've gone through the first main dungeon. I've unlocked the bike. I mean, the bike mechanic, whatever. Take it or leave it. It's just a tool to progress the story. But I mean, I'll finish it because I know it's pretty short. But I don't know. There's just something about it that like keeps it from being like it's like a little bit nagging to me in the way that it requires me to play in a way that like I think they could have made some tweaks and that wouldn't be the case and they could have still kept what makes a prime game, but I'm still not going to complain about it. It's been really fun revisiting and it's tough to knock the visuals. I know they're not like, top notch, but like for what a Nintendo game is, it's kind of jaw dropping in a lot of places. So, and the sound design, like my God, it's so good.
As long as it's not locked behind a amiibo.
Right. So stupid. Yeah.
You have to wonder, like after the saga that this game has been, this is probably the last time Metroid Prime comes out. Like,
I mean, I guess we'll see how it sells, but
yeah,
it will probably sell very, very well given that options are limited on the Switch too. But I don't know I don't know. Like, I'll be curious to watch and see where it sits in like another 2 months. But at the same time, like we don't have the next big thing, right? Like we're still in a drought for first party stuff. So yeah. But more to come on that. I guess once I get further, I'll have more opinions. But so far, really liking it. Just some of the complaints.
I'll probably pick it up. I was pretty excited about that remake.
Yeah, that was
and
really
then
good.
I kind of dropped off of it pretty quickly for whatever reason. So I'm kind of worried that that's going to happen again with this one, but maybe not.
Yeah, we got a few hours into the remake. I was letting my son play it and just watching him so he could experience it. And we never, for whatever reason, we fell off too. I think because it kind of came out around the summertime, I feel like, right around there. So we just didn't get further. But yeah. Now what else we have here? Oh, might as well talk about the arcade one-up situation, huh? Like supposedly they're going away.
Yeah. I think just tonight I saw that another company is buying them.
Oh, okay.
But it does not seem like a deal that's going to persevere to keep it running at its height. It's kind of we cannot literally handle even any actions on this business anymore, so we need somebody to kind of finish it
Wind
out.
It down. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not too surprising, right? Like when they were at their height, they were in like pretty much every major retailer on the shelves. They were at a price point that was affordable-ish, and it was also at the height of that like kind of retro, I would say like everyday culture boom, where like it was in everybody's, so it was hitting the casual people, and then like they kept pushing and getting into like $800 cabinets and it just didn't seem worth it to me. It seemed like it was something that was like in a well-to-do person's like bar in their basement, and that's kind of where they've sat for about 5 years now. I feel like since the pandemic.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, the at game stuff is at that price point, and that's I mean, you can get a whole arcade at that point that you can load into those things. So it really does. And the fact that they mined pretty much all the nostalgic ones that you'd want. There's not many left that were like, oh, wait until that one comes out, So they were kind of at the end of the licenses anyway, I think.
Right. And by the time they got into some of those like really heavy hitters where you're like, God, I'd love that. It was like, well, these are starting at $650, like the Simpsons arcade and NBA Jam. It's just like, well, this isn't casual fun price points anymore. Like I can just emulate this and sit on my couch. And I think that's kind of the downfall.
And I think even at that point, they were getting burnt. Walmart and all these other guys got burned so bad that,
oh yeah,
I mean, they've had to clearance them out for ungodly amount of cheapness that they stopped carrying the stuff unless it was like Pac-Man, which was like the most. We're going to sell this on an impulse type thing.
I mean, 5 of the ones I owned, I bought between $50 and $80.
Right.
So, yeah. It's just because they were so cheap you couldn't, right?
Right. So I think as soon as one of that went away and just the availability in store at a decent price, it was over.
Yeah, I agree. It's not surprising to see them go away. And I always wondered how they made money at that price point to begin with, even with their current prices. Like by the time you figure in licensing, manufacturing costs, shipping, there probably wasn't a lot of wiggle room.
Yep.
And then they launched that whole like pinball line that like never really took off because I never saw one in a store ever. You know what I mean? Like it was only online only. So.
Oh, and the board game tables too. That seemed like a really kind of, I don't know, not
which
a
would now all be
trash,
idea. Would they not?
Yeah, I think because, that's all like
those required. Thing. Yeah, those all required like a server, which they're garbage now. So, and even like NBA Jam with its online leaderboards and crossplay, like that's all gone. So, it's really like that first to second wave will be functional, but a lot of the features of the other ones will not. So,
I am interested in seeing if there is a clear out somewhere.
Amazon, I just saw before we logged on, it started marking some of them down significantly. You can get the 2-player NBA Jam for $400, and then the Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man like Ultimates are down to like $230, which is a pretty steep discount from like the $500 they have been at. So
yeah, I would like one with a lot of buttons so I could convert it over.
Yeah.
To a main cabinet, but
I wouldn't mind a cocktail one like you have, and just like putting the chip into it and modify it. So.
Yeah, we just brought that back into the house and been playing that again.
Nice. I still have to get my arcade arranged in the basement, so that's on my list of things to do here the next week or so. So first off is getting everything else out of the garage so I can park it. We're getting there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played many games outside of that, but I've been watching a lot of movies. So I mentioned the birthday and the time off. And conveniently, my birthday fell on the Tuesday that we got like a ton of snow here, right? So I was like, well, got the day off. What the hell are we going to do? Like, being on the road isn't smart, even in town. So we happened to drive by the movie theater, and it was like Tuesday, so it's like the cheap movies or whatever. So I'm like, well, what's playing? And Predator Badlands was still there. So I went and saw that because it was like $10 for us to go, my wife and I. That is a really good movie. Like, it really continues on the trajectory that Prey did. It's nice to see a Predator movie back in like the sci-fi like offshoot realm. You know, Prey was really cool for what it was, and like bringing a historical, like more down to earth aspect. And this carries a lot of some of those fundamentals, but it brings you back into like a unknown world, futuristic, like somewhere off in space vibe. And it kind of becomes like almost like a buddy thing, right? Like the Predator has never done before because he hooks up with like an android, and they traverse this like planet to try and take down this unkillable monster together. And it's very good. It's very good. There's a lot of humor.
They're kind of the Predator's kind of the protagonist in this one, right?
Sorry, I lost you. What was that?
The Predator's kind of the protagonist in this one, not necessarily like the monster out hunting, right?
Right, exactly. Yep, exactly. So it's kind of neat to see that, and yeah, it's kind of a revenge story where he's like out to, you know, like redeem himself for his clan and his brother, and you know, when you've got like this like kind of like smart mouth cyborg character along with him, and then what is kind of like a monkey type character, which plays into the story later on as comic relief. Like it adds a little bit more humor. Like I wouldn't say it's a family friendly movie, but like certainly enjoyable for small children too. It's not just like blood and gore. But yeah, every bit as good as Prey. I was happy to see it, and it looks like they teed it up for a continuation based on the ending.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see where that goes. Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy that Predator and Alien are both still out there doing things. Because I mean,
yeah,
outside of their original movies, it seems like, yep, it's. I mean, even the second one was like, yeah, we're doing this thing again, kind of in a different way, but how many times can you keep doing that story, right? Even Prey is basically Predator. It's just a different time. So,
yep. Yeah, this is kind of a little twist on the whole thing, but it is still very fundamentally he is the Predator, and that whole thing. But just the extra dynamics to it, and like the final battles and stuff are all really good, and the payoff. And there's a lot of that same stuff that made Prey good, where maybe it was less focused on the Predator side and more on the Native American character, where it was like she was learning how to like read the signs and like learn the lay of the land and use that to her advantage.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how the Predator in this movie evolves. He's on a new world and like learns to use the resources he has, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've not seen it. They made an animated one recently too, right? I want to say.
I think you're right. Yeah,
but I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah. I'm sure this thing is like on streaming already. Like I watched it way after it came out. So if you have a chance to watch it on something, I do recommend it if you're a fan.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, all of that streaming stuff is going to be one thing at some point.
Yeah. So. For the low price of $83 billion. Yeah. I didn't know Netflix had $83 billion. I wonder if they're like, oh shit, Stranger Things is wrapping up. Like, this is the most money we're ever going to have. So let's make a deal happen.
Yep.
I just anticipate a bunch of like really shitty, low rent, like Harry Potter stuff coming from them.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're also like saying, well, yeah, we'll keep HBO Max going. It's like, no, you won't. Like, you'll do the same thing Disney did, and eventually it'll all be one app, because they've already said the thing of like, we're merging libraries. It's like, okay, you're merging libraries, and then you're going to figure out the software on the back end, and you're going to push your video over.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. HBO Max has been on the downfall almost since its launch anyway, as far as like subscriptions and content goes. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they handle all that. If Paramount doesn't get them too. That whole situation's wild, but.
Well, Paramount was up to like 130 billion, weren't they? Like cash? Like 130 billion cash.
But nobody knows where that money is coming from. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they won't use that too as a vehicle to maybe like spin off some of their like Netflix original movies to like limited theater. Because like a theater run these days is 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Like, so outside of marketing, there's probably very little cost to Netflix having a high profile movie and putting it on there in theaters and then like routing it to their streaming service 2.5 to 3 months later. So
yeah. Well, especially after something like K-pop Demon Hunters, where they're like, oh, we screwed that one up. We should have had that in the theater first.
Yeah, for sure. And I did see where Stranger Things, the final episode, is going to be in theaters.
Yep.
Very limited too, so cool.
Netflix will just buy the theaters. Then it's all then.
Yeah. Instead of mailing discs out to stream stuff on your game consoles, just send you like a chip that you just like hammer under your skull and it's everywhere you go. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that works out. Like, I mean, Netflix is obviously like, when you think of streaming, they are the platform, but I also feel like that's been a very diminishing scale, right? Like all these streaming platforms, like everything's diluted the water so much. Such a big investment from them. I just hope it's worth the gamble, I guess.
Yeah. They seem like they're the most consumable, where it's just like the stuff comes out and then you just consume it and then it's gone to me. Yeah. But so them, handling the reins of some of the biggest properties, it's like, oh, this could be interesting. I did like how they were like talking about the games unit, like Mortal Kombat and all this, and they're just like, oh yeah, we didn't
Nobody cares.
we didn't even put a price on that because it didn't have any value to us.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Be interesting to see where that lands a year or two from now and like what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Warner Brothers is such like a nostalgic company in the world of like media, like films and TV. It's just like Netflix owning them feels odd.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all not too surprising, right? In the streaming era we live in. I mean, Disney owning like virtually every other company under the sun. So
still
at least they can't
it'll
give
still
us
come down to Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny, I guess, in the end.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. And at least they can't give us like 3 shitty Star Wars sequels, so we don't have to worry about that. So they don't have that IP.
Harry Potter is definitely going to be minded.
I am very concerned. Yeah, they're going to milk that thing, right? Because like, what's that new Harry Potter series coming to? Was it HBO Max? Is that where that's landing?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And they'll bring that over because they have to. Like that's the cash cow, and they have nothing else. Like there's not a Stranger Things on the horizon. That seems like their biggest bet, if I were to guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I see you've seen an even better movie though.
I did see another one. What was it? Oh, Troll 2. I watched Troll 2, which is I think they're Netflix exclusives, at least in the US, which is the sequel to Troll 1, which, if you're not familiar, is basically just Jurassic Park, but in Norway, and instead of a T-Rex, it's a troll. And this is the same movie, and also like Jurassic Park, but instead of one troll, there's 2 trolls, and instead of destroying Oslo this time, they destroy Trondheim.
Okay, so
this is not Trolls 2, yes.
No, and it's not even Troll 2 from...
Oh, no, yeah,
the really bad one.
Oh my God, they're eating my friend, and now they're going to eat me! Yeah, no, this is a new release.
Okay.
I think Troll 1 is a very good... Like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of Scandinavian content on Netflix. And Troll 1 is a very good movie that very much, like, plays on the tropes of like Jurassic Park with like the water in the cup and stuff. And this is the sequel, and it's virtually the same movie. It's just that there's a second troll. And yeah, like I said, instead of destroying the capital city of Oslo, the fight is taken to Trondheim, a little further north in Norway. And it's fine. You know, it's voiced over, you know, it's not in English. So there's like some stuff that seems a little weird, but it was entertaining enough.
Yeah,
I'd say maybe just watch the first one and leave this alone. But if you're curious, watch both.
Sure. It is pretty crazy how many international stuff they actually do have on there. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it's got like what seems like a fairly large budget. I mean, there's like some heavy CG and stuff that looks pretty good. Pretty small cast, which I'd imagine is part of keeping costs down. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Huh.
More trolls, more fun.
Think they'll make another one then?
Maybe. Troll 3, 3 trolls.
Yeah, they would be the first one, right? I think there's probably 3 of the Trolls movies at this point.
Oh, the new Trolls ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if like troll lore spans across all of Scandinavia, where it could be like an international thing, where it's like a Norwegian, a Finnish, and a Swedish troll, like all fighting it out for like supremacy of, you know, the Nordic region.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. So are they like they're huge or not?
Oh yeah, they're giant. Yeah, they find them inside like mountains, and they're like, I would say they're like taller than a city skyscraper, or half as tall. I don't know. They're huge. So, and it's the whole. There's a lot of lore in both those movies, which is prevalent. I mean, I've talked about on the podcast. I studied abroad in Norway, so I lived there for 4 months. It's very prevalent discussion, which you find in Norwegian culture, which is disdain towards Christianity and like how it destroyed their underlying beliefs, and like, so it's that sort of thing where like you ring the church bells because the trolls hate the sound of the church bells from the Christian church, and like it weakens them, and like,
oh wow,
it's kind of funny. which like out of context seems odd and like they're taking a jab at which they are taking a jab at Christianity, which I think Christianity is actually like the like government endorsed religion over there now, but like Christianity was like what wiped out old North mythology. So they take shots at that a lot throughout these movies, which I find kind of funny.
So Thor has a problem with Christianity, in other words.
Yeah, the gods are not a big fan.
Yeah,
and the Viking rulers and stuff. So, so thanks, Christians. That's why we don't have trolls now. Come on.
They kind of had a problem with that raping and pillaging part, I think.
Well, details, Andy. Details. You could have a troll as a friend. Like, what's a better trade-off? Yeah, they're pretty entertaining. Like, just stupid, like big monster movies, which is what something like that should be. There is one. It might still be on Netflix. It was called Troll Hunter, and I honestly think that's like the best of all these. Where it's like a guy. It's almost like he's like a rogue, like X-Files agent or something, like where he's just dedicated his life to like hunting out and like documenting and eradicating these different species of trolls. And like that's also a dubbed over movie, but like very entertaining in its own right, which is probably a better film than these. So I think in that one, like a troll gets rabies of some, well, not rabies, but like some sort of equivalent. And he just goes on like a killing rampage and like destroys everything. Where this guy's job is to like keep them in their troll holes, pretty much.
Got to pay the tolls.
Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah. But Troll 2 is good too. So I mean, there's not a lot streaming right now outside of Stranger Things, so it's probably worth a watch.
Well, when Godzilla and King Kong come over in the Warner Brothers deal, then
there you go.
They get them all three together.
Like it. Yeah.
Huh. Well, my last thing is my son has started. We were trying to come up with something that was a little bit more project based around here, and he came up with trying to come up with making his own video game, and we landed on Godot. I don't know how you exactly say it. I imagine it's a French thing.
Okay.
But it's an open source game engine, and it seems pretty easy to use. My son has shown interest in this stuff before, but a lot of times it's been like these kind of like code block things where you're not really doing it. There's like another layer on top that makes it kidified. So this is kind of the real thing. So he's kind of making his own real game, which is interesting. So far it's kind of following along to tutorials and stuff like that, but he's spinning it off and doing some creative stuff with it. Right now it's a 2D platformer, and he's making sprites for like pretty much or just like huge platforms that you have to traverse of Nintendo character sprites, which is pretty cool.
Nice. So it's got like a sprite editor like built in. You like fill it all out. Can you animate them too and stuff?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, you do all the animations. You set collision on all the different stuff and set tile sets, and and then you have to get in the coding too and actually build the scripts and programming for it too. So,
wow.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Curious to see where that goes. Does he have like a vision beyond like a platformer yet? Like, has he started fleshing out his next thing? Or
no, he wants to follow along with a few projects first, and then I think he really wants to get into the 3D stuff, because he's a kid and he thinks 2D is old and antiquated. It's old man games. But so eventually he'll probably get into 3D stuff, which once he finds out what 3D modeling is, maybe he'll be like, oh, okay, well, I like the tile sets better.
See if you can get him to make a 3D game about digging a hole and see how far he gets in that. Yeah. That's cool, though. At least he's showing interest in it. So, you guiding him at all, or just kind of letting him do his thing?
Yeah, I'm just letting him kind of do his thing, and then, he'll come show me what he did. And I think yesterday he took one of the huge sprite of one of the monsters and just made it gigantic that it just envelops the whole world after a while. So it's basically like a auto runner where you have to get ahead of it.
Nice. That's cool. Well, there you go. The future of gaming right there.
Yeah.
Make sure he sends us some like beta codes for his releases
before he publishes it. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of crazy how easy it is now. I mean, compared to what it used to be, even.
I assume there's still like a visual layer in between a lot of the coding and.
Yeah. I mean, you get to see the camera and kind of move things around inside of that, so
sure.
And a lot of it is like clicking on things, and then they have a million different drop boxes that you can set different attributes. Whereas it used to be you had to know those attributes and then put those in the code itself, so.
I mean, probably smart though. I mean, like you even look at like a Unity engine and stuff, and like a lot of that, like.
Oh, that's become that
just
too.
Like text boxes and like, right. Like, so you can get it comfortable with that. Like that's going to transfer well to like stuff that published games are using every day. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think a lot of people do use this even to make smaller games. I don't think you're going to make a really heavy, intensive 3D game in here, maybe. But
sure.
For the most part, I don't know why it couldn't do anything smaller than that.
That's cool. It reminds me when I watched a YouTube video today. I forget the channel, but it's a guy who does like a lot of topical stuff where he's like kind of talking to himself from like different angles. And it was like 25-year-old making $100,000 versus negative $100, and like talking back and forth. And the $100,000 guy's like, yeah, I just graduated. I started this job. My boss is really fair. I'm making like really great salary and stuff. And then the other guy's like, yeah, but what did your parents do? He's like, I see what you did there. And yes, my mom's a doctor and my dad's like a cosmetic surgeon and like whatever. He's like, but it's all about working hard and blah, blah, blah. And the other guy's just like staring at him blankly. He's like, I'd recommend you learn coding. And then it just like cuts. I was like, yep. Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, I'm curious to see how long he gets down that route and make something cool.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Definitely a valuable skill.
It is. I don't know if I would push it too much because this is probably an industry where AI has some riskiness in that. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for kids though. Like, I just think, I was just thinking about that the other day too, like how just like basic, PC architecture and being able to like framework in your head how things are read in a computer and like how file paths and like, folders and stuff work. Like most people just like can't fathom it anymore. But it's just like, this is basics that are lost on like the whole generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got you're a leg up.
The basics of Windows at this point are a struggle for a lot of kids, I think. So
yeah, struggle for a lot of adults based on what I see.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. And now I suppose we should get on to staff picks because I'm sure you're itching to talk about the game that swept the Game Awards here.
Yeah. Yeah, I put a lot of time into Expedition 33. Which is kind of funny because I picked it up. I started playing it around the time it came out. And I think Metaphor, which is the Persona game, also came on Game Pass at the same time. So it was like pick your battle type thing.
Right.
And I liked what I was playing with Expedition 33, but I was going to do Persona because I love those games. And that was a good game. But coming back to it, this game is something else. It's pretty special.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's crazy how they have made a turn-based RPG so action-packed. It does feel on the level of something like a deep action game like a Dark Souls, that timing, a lot of timing based parries and counters and stuff like that. That's and for a game to do that, to be like, yeah, you're making a turn-based RPG that if you're good enough, and can counter everything. You don't need to level up. You don't have to do anything. You just can just win, you know?
Right. Which I think is great, because like that's what kills RPGs for most people, right? Like me included. Legend of Dragoon, still love it because it let me do a time, thing. And like that was surface level shit. But like if you're saying I can actually just be good at the game and progress, not have to grind, that's huge.
Yep. So. It does help for sure, because it if you accidentally miss a parry or something, you're not going to be in one shot killed or whatever. But between that and the skill system where, you pick up these skills and you put them on one of the characters and then you battle them for like 4 times, then anybody can use them. And it's just basically you have a pool of points and you can pick they have a certain cost and then you can use them. So you're building loadouts.
Sure.
So you collect all these skills throughout the whole game. And then by the end of it, you got some crazy combos that you can put together on certain characters. And, and those are collectibles too. So like you go around exploring, finding those things, which is pretty rewarding, I would say. And you
finished this? You rolled credits?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know how many hours I played, for probably many, many hours over one weekend. Because it really pulled me in, and also I thought it was leaving Game Pass. And definitely had the hype going into the Game Awards that this was probably going to be the runaway hit, right? And it is something. It might be the best RPG I've ever played.
Wow.
Which is saying a lot. And then there's really no bad aspects to it either. I mean, the graphics are very good, and the music is amazing, and the gameplay is great. It's just like across the board, the story is really, really good, and the twists and turns that makes are really shocking, actually. Even to pull something off in a story in a video game is hard to do, and they do pretty well for that.
Did Jeff Keighley bribe you for this episode?
No, my gosh.
Making any payments? Did he threaten harm on you, Andy?
Yeah. The thing is, like, the amount of Frenchness in this is almost off-putting when you first start out. It is so overwhelmingly French, right?
Well, you have to wear your mime shirt and little beret apparently to play exactly. This. If I learned anything from the Game Awards. Chewing on a baguette in between bites.
Yep. Your berets. And it's almost too much in that regard, but that's probably the detriment of it. It's so French that I think you lose some of it if you're not accustomed to a lot of that culture, maybe. But
well, I mean, to hear you say like it's probably one of the best RPGs of all time from a guy who's played a shitload of them, especially JRPGs. That
I
guess that's pretty telling.
Yeah. It especially like those, PlayStation 2 era, PlayStation 1 kind of Final Fantasy. I think it's really cribbing off those a lot.
Sure.
But
those are not what they were, right? Like, so that's the perfect thing to aim for.
Right. So yep.
You're craving that's long since gone from Square Enix. So.
Yep. And it just does a better job at all of that, whereas those old ones were just like, the story was nonsensical and the battles were just monotonous and,
Yeah.
There's I wish this game would end, and I guess I should go back in and do the update stuff now, because there is new stuff in there. But yeah,
is it like end story stuff or like replay added stuff?
There is a choice at the end of the game that you have to make, and surprisingly, I don't think you can go back and see the other ending. which is kind of crazy. Like I tried to do that. It loads you back to the last, the big final fight, and you go back there and the guy's not there anymore. So you did it. You made that choice, I guess. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I guess you can just play through it all again, right?
Right. Yep. I probably will someday. It's probably that type of game that I would. I'm listening to the music. I'm listening to Spotify, like French opera on my Spotify. There's some pretty good music in that game too. But
well, it did win that award also, so I believe you.
Yep.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, not something I'll ever touch, but yeah.
The
seems. Now, how do you follow this up, right? Like,
oh my gosh, I don't know.
Tiny studio and the world is watching now. Like, can you imagine the pressure that they're feeling?
Oh gosh, I have no idea what you do, because I don't think you could do a sequel to this the way it wraps up. Like the amount of enjoyment you get out of it, I think, is part of the story, and I don't think you could top that story in the same world again. But
maybe
I don't know.
Wait 20 years and like re-release it in 5 chunks that all cost $60 a piece on multiple platforms. So
an MMO.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Cool to see a small studio do something that apparently has that much impact.
Yeah, I don't know how I mean, obviously they had more help than the original. They were saying, "Oh, we're 30 people." It's like there's no way. Like you look at the credit, there's a lot more people there, but
sure.
But it is not a AAA studio either, which in some regards, I mean, it's a lot of times even the graphics, they outdo what AAA is doing. So
what is like the art style? Is it like Final Fantasy-ish? Is it like pseudo real, or do they go for?
Yeah, it's pretty realistic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Well, mine, again, I'm failing on the gaming front, but I watched another movie that I wanted to talk about. I found this on my Plex server. It's called Freaky Tales. I have no idea what this is streaming on normally or how this came out, but it's sort of like it's set in Oakland in like the late 80s, and it's like somewhat music focused for the time. So it's like it's not one movie, it's like a movie based in a weird Oakland universe that's like a 4-part chapter that follows a bunch of different people that then kind of wraps up. So you start out in like my era of the 80s, which is actually predating some of the stuff they're referencing, but it's like these punk kids who go to like a straight edge club, which is clearly just like in that era of Gilman Street, and they're aping on that. And like they have like an Asian fronted Op Ivy playing and like that sort of stuff. Like they're trying to do a vibe, right? And that wraps up, and then you get into a story that's like based around like early hip hop and like rap battles and like that sort of stuff. And then it comes into a third act, which introduces Pedro Pascal. Tom Hanks also makes an appearance.
Really? Wow.
And that's probably like one of the coolest, like it's the best acted. I would say my caution with Freaky Tales is that it is a very slow grind with not the best acting leading up to the payoff. But then you get to the 4th act and it all loops back together. And I'm not going to give away too much, but there might be a Warriors NBA player who's also basically like Super Saiyan Ninja who can like animate outside of his body and just like eviscerate people in horrible and wonderful ways. Yeah, and the KKK and like white supremacists are a through line throughout this whole thing, which was a thing in punk. Like, obviously, the skinhead movement, and like, so it all kind of blends. It's a very rough. For anyone who's willing to watch this, it's a very rough ask to get through the first half to 3/4 of this film, but like, you will be so happy you sat through the final act because it is so great and it ties everything back together in such a stupid, fun way. It's a ridiculous movie that probably shouldn't work. And for the most part, I'd argue that it maybe doesn't, but that fourth act made me love it. Like I completely flipped the script on like, why am I watching this to like, this might be one of the best fucking things I've seen in a while since like Turbo Kid. You know what I mean? So, and you know, the Tom Hanks, Pedro Pascal bit is all very good. So check it out if you can find it. I have no idea where you can find it. Like I said, I found it on a Plex server.
Wow.
It's very cool.
I need to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my favorite is like the ending where like, I won't give too much away, but like Pedro Pascal's like walking out of this like basically just like blood drenched house. And the guy's like, dude, what happened here? He's like, looks to me like your daddy fucked with the wrong warrior and just like walks off. Like they don't stop him, they don't question him. There's just like gore and like fucking human entrails splattered everywhere. It's so good, dude.
Wow.
So good. Ugh, yeah.
If you're having a good time with us at Weekend Rental, I think you might enjoy all the great geeky stuff found on the Geekade Podcast Network. They've got podcasts about games, music, movies, and more. Plus, if you order off their secret menu, also known as the Geekade Patreon, you just might find an exclusive movie podcast hosted by Ryan and myself. Check it out over at geekade.com. And hey, if you'd like to turn Weekend Rental into a true multimedia experience, our YouTube and Twitch channels might just be for you.
But with that, I guess time for the Weekend Rental, huh? So the Weekend Rental, we play a game for a given system, this time the Super Nintendo. I guess this game's also on Game Boy though. And we give it some time, give our opinion, decide whether we would buy, rent, or burn that game. We were talking about Spanky's Quest, which I didn't know anything about until it hit Switch Online.
Sounds like an 80s like Porky's knockoff or something.
100%. We played it on the Super Nintendo, the version there. This is a puzzle platformer starring a monkey presumably named Spanky on his quest. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's gotten a very like cutesy presentation. You're a monkey who fights evil fruit for some reason. The music is so-so. The visuals are so-so. The gameplay is a little rough. If you play this game, just be aware that hitboxes proceed about, I would say, like half a character length outside of every enemy. So just, it's best to get nowhere near them.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out.
Jumping does that. Yeah. There's not a curve. It's a square around those things. So you can't, the jumping is particularly hard in this game.
Yes.
And timing is a huge thing in this game.
Yeah.
To see the future and be able to do shots for specific things are, it's all about that. That's the real difficulty in this game. However,
yes, and
I thought, the heavily outlaid, kind of platforms that are around, the characters that are, and bubbles that you use.
Somewhat reminiscent.
I thought you were going to be very excited about this game because it does like seem like they're trying to do that a little bit, maybe.
They carried over one of the most terrifying aspects of Bubble Bobble, and that is that if you do not complete the level in the time that the game feels you should, instead of a scary ghost octopus coming to kill you, it's just a black crow who just like rains terror on you and is like a one-hit death. I think the thing that like disappointed me the most with this game is like a good puzzle platformer of this type will like, or a well-designed one will ease you into how the game mechanics work, and this does not. It doesn't let you know that level. Yeah, it doesn't let you know that this like pea shooter thing you have can also be multiplied and like hit off your head like a soccer ball to become infinitely more powerful. And then also you can have a second button tap to unleash hell versus just letting it do its thing, which is absolutely critical to progression. But at no point will the game tell you this. I assume there was a manual because there were back in the day.
Yeah, they almost
would have explained this.
Yeah.
But I reset after the third level or fourth level, maybe like 2 or 3 times before I accidentally discovered that. And then was like, oh, okay, well, let's try this again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Even explaining it is kind of hard to even explain how it is. I mean, you shoot, there's enemies on the screen, kind of on platforms going back and forth. You shoot a bubble up, and then you can bounce it multiple times. And each time you bounce it, different sporting ball is inside. And well,
you progress from what? Baseball to volleyball to soccer ball to basketballs?
I think so, yeah. And then when you decide to pop the bubble, then it rains down terror on all the enemies. So yeah, you kind of want, especially if there's a number of guys around hanging around, you want to just sit there and bounce it up to a basketball and just pop it above everybody.
It's worth mentioning too that the bubble you throw goes in like a giant lofting huge arc. So in a platforming game where everyone's coming directly at you, that is an impossibility without ample timing and patience, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I find this game is best when you are using it as a puzzle to find out how to get above or below an enemy to be able to control your shot and time it that way. I think when they are on the same level as you and they're running at you, I think it is a bad game.
Yes, I agree. It is nightmare fuel and almost unwinnable in those scenarios. Because the time it takes to get that timing down is not great when you have like that impending doom of the crow eventually catching up to you if you don't finish the level. It does all start to click though. Like as much as I was like initially very turned off by this game, and I was like, I don't think this is it. You know, like when it started clicking, I was like, oh, there's something here, right?
Yep.
And it becomes very fun. Like it's still not great. It's still not like a fantastically designed puzzle platformer, but there is something very enduring about it and engaging. And like once you get over that hump, I found myself like not wanting to put it down.
Yeah, I was the same way.
That says something.
And the boss battles even ratcheted up even more, where it's, you know, find their pattern, but also try and kind of like bounce this ball a few times in the middle of it too, you know. So
cheese them before they get to it, right?
Yep. Yeah, I had the same exact trajectory where the first few levels, especially that first one, was really rough. I arguably, I think that's probably the first level is, even when you know what you're doing, I think that might be the hardest one in the first 10 levels.
Yeah. And the third level with the springboards was the one that through trial and error, I learned how the bubble worked. Like that was like, cause I just couldn't win it. Like I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then that happened and I figured it out. And this is sort of like for listeners, like this is sort of like a Krusty's Funhouse sort of game where like you are looking to collect keys to get in the door and progress through the level. So like it could vary. You might need 1 key, you might need 2, you might need 4. But that's what you're looking to do in each level, and then get to the door and get out before the time's up. But they continue. I mean, I obviously didn't get hours and hours into this game, but they continue to throw new mechanics at you. Like, you know, they'll have enemies working levers to like shoot fireballs out of the wall. They'll introduce like a cannon that just like launches you across the screen. It's all pretty interesting and evolves in a fun way. Like it doesn't fundamentally change what the base gameplay is, but it changes how you platform in kind of clever ways, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And the different kinds of enemies too really start. Some of them are a pain in the ass, but a lot of them are still kind of fun as a different type of challenge, I would say. That they keep adding, which I don't know. They're in cans. Sometimes they spawn from a can. I don't really realize. I don't know what triggers it, but
right. That first level where they introduced the cans, like I just assumed they were background fodder. And then they start shaking and things start exploding out of them. I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah. I don't know what Spanky did to piss off canned produce, but it made him mad. Yeah. So, yeah. And, outside of the key collecting, there's very little to go out of your way for. There's like some coins you can get, but I'm not sure what they did.
Points.
And then you get some extra life things, but
I think
it's mostly just a straightforward.
The coins, if you blew a bubble into the coin, it was it gave you basketball right away.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
So it was kind of a power up.
What do the hats do then?
I don't know.
It's fun to wear.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it's top hat and a sombrero, and I don't know what they do.
Yeah. Army helmet. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's tough to know what to think of this game. I think there's definitely something there. But it is definitely rough around the edges. Like, overall, just like presentation, it's funny because like most games, the kind of floaty jump and like horrible hitboxes would be a detriment, but because it's a puzzle platformer and the rules stay the same, like you just learn to work in that environment.
Yeah.
So it's bad game design, but it's bad game design you cope for pretty early. But like, yeah, it definitely lets you know that this isn't like a fully polished product.
Yeah, it really does change how I played it, to the point where, I actively tried to avoid being in a situation where I needed to jump over somebody. So I would be like, oh, there's a guy down there. I need to be on the platform above and take him out with a lob from above, So it really changed kind of the trajectory of how I was approaching a level.
I am curious how the sports theme came into any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why balls? I don't know.
And how'd they come just out of a bubble that you...
Right.
Yeah. Music is not too bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's pretty good.
I've read something on Wikipedia where people are like, well, it's notable for its amazing soundtrack. And I was like, I thought it was fine, but like I wasn't humming any of that stuff, So
it's not like Bubble Bobble where you'll hum that song for the end of time. Right. But
yep. Apparently, this dropped like I think same time like Game Boy. Both of them in 1991, and I don't know. It's interesting that I've never heard of it because it's not a bad game, but I think probably when you look at the Super Nintendo and that cover art, it just seems like every other generic platformer based on if you're walking through the video rental aisle or the Toys R Us, like you wouldn't look at that and be like, yeah, that's worth my $40 or whatever.
No, you wouldn't have thought that this would be that type of game either.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like hidden gems though, where you're like, all right, if I was 12, I definitely would have sunk a ton of time into this because like it has that loop. So there's something there.
And I think it does, Donkey Kong 94 was really kind of nailed this type of thing. But even with like Game & Wario and that, they didn't really get into the Mario versus Donkey Kong stuff. There's not too many games quite like that. And this is in that a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. I think it fits right in there. It's funny because it feels almost like in the way it plays and the visuals, it feels almost more like a shareware game or something you would have gotten around then, less like a Super Nintendo game. But, yeah, it's good for what it is. What would you give it on the scale then? Would you buy, rent, or burn?
I was pretty negative, like we were talking about right away. I was pretty negative on it, but I think I would kind of want to go back and keep playing it. So I think it's on the very low side of a buy, but I'd say probably a buy.
Yeah, I kind of think I have to agree with you. Like, part of me says give it a rent, but like I'm with you in that I am definitely picking that back up. So I think it is a buy too. It is by no means a 10 out of 10, but it's a good 7 or 8, which is better than 90% of everything else, right?
Yeah.
So
I could see this. I could foresee having some crazy bullshit mechanic that's introduced that would completely ruin this game.
Sure.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. This seems like a game that's like ripe for a limited run like collection with a new like 3D adaptation, sort of, you know what I mean? Like a Snow Brothers type bullshit.
Limited Run did they
oh
reprinted
god,
this
of course
game.
they did. Of course they did. God damn them. Why do they have to ruin everything that's good in the world? On physical cards?
Yeah, I think, well, at least the Game Boy one, I think they did. I don't know about Super Nintendo, but.
Wow, that's too bad.
I have to imagine the Game Boy one's pretty similar. I mean, you don't do this type of thing on a Super Nintendo and then radically change the design for something that would work on a Game Boy too.
Right, and just dumb it down the levels a little bit and tone back the sprite work. It's funny, I didn't even know that. Well, it's a good hidden gem though. We haven't had one of those in a while. So.
Yeah.
Guess that's another episode though.
Yeah, most of the time the stuff that you see added to Nintendo Switch Online, where it's like Jalico and this is Natsume, and in this case it's like, well, okay.
It's a perfection like first party title or dog shit usually. There's no like winners that generally come up.
Yep. But yeah, this one was pretty good. And I was kind of worried that first level, I was worried that it was more like a mappy style game, and it
did seem like that.
It does not end up being that, but yeah.
Sega loves mappy though. It's got to be a great game.
Yep.
On every compilation ever.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if you have played Spanky's Quest, we'd love to hear what your thoughts are at weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. If you've seen the porno named Spanky's Quest, we'd also like to hear about that as well. But we have a movie podcast on the Geekade Patreon network that is locked away behind their Patreon. But the good news is you get a lot of better stuff probably throughout that.
Early releases,
yeah. Yep. So check that out. Till next time, be kind, rewind. Banana's best family game.